It's Luke and Naomi.
Welcome in episode 116. We're going to find out if Naomi Lynn likes Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, or Men in Tights better.
We're going to find out if I like Men in Tights.
We're going to find out if you like Men in Tights
That's
at
right.
all.
Yeah.
Also, coming up in just a little bit. I'm Luke Austin. That's Naomi Lynn. I've seen a ton of movies. Naomi is working on it. If you've seen Robin Hood, Men in Tights, relive your first watch through Naomi's eyes. If you've never seen it either, should you watch it at all?
I'll let you know.
Unless, you happen to have just watched it again to follow along with Naomi's review. So that...
Which isn't a bad idea to do that too, by the way.
No, I love when people do that. We get a lot of messages that's like, oh, cool. I knew you guys were doing that, so I went ahead and watched it again and stuff like that. Or people will listen to the review and then go watch it too, which is a lot of fun. I like getting those messages as well. So we started this one, I think, last episode. Robin Hood, Men in Tights. Give us 4 words, Naomi Lynn, for Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
That's not Morgan Freeman.
I like it. No.
I do have a better one. Better than last one.
Better than the last one. All right. So we already have an answer, at least, to that question from Naomi's 4-word response to Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
But you'll have to wait for all the details.
That's right.
Yeah.
We'll get into the details of the review in just a little bit. If you've been following along in the last couple of episodes, we've been talking about our porch garden that we've got going on.
Yeah.
Doing well.
It is.
Yeah,
it's doing great.
Shout out to Naomi. She's stayed right away from it, which keeps it going, real good.
I picked a pepper.
She's very encouraging and gets to, reap the benefits, of course.
Of course. That's the best part of this all.
Yep. So we got a couple of jalapenos so far. And, I think Naomi's favorite thing so far.
The strawberry.
The strawberry.
Yeah.
We have a strawberry from
We
our
have a
strawberries.
second one. I'm going to pick it after the show.
Coming up, we've got a few of those coming up too. And some tomatoes have started forming. And now I'm pretty sure that the one that I thought was regular tomatoes is grape tomatoes.
Yeah, I think you have them backwards.
I'm pretty sure I have them backwards. But the garden's going strong. Picture right now, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that I took one just before we started recording. So I knew I already have it. So that is going well. Not much else going on in between.
Nope.
Just kind of hanging, watching the garden grow, looking at some frogs.
That's right.
We believe we have a semi-permanent resident.
In our frog hotel, yes. That guy has been hanging around. I know it's the same one. It's small. It's the same color. It's definitely the same frog. So our frog hotel has those PVC pipes, and there's 5 or 6 different pipes that we put out there. And this little frog has moved, I feel like, from every single pipe.
Yeah, I think he's kind of checked out every room,
Yeah, but I think where he's at now, I think he's going to stay there. He seems very happy.
He seems very happy. If only you could get, one of those, what are they, comment cards.
Yeah, help me help you.
Help me help you, frog. What do you need? What kind of bugs do you need us to attract? But
he'd probably just be like, leave me the F alone and stop peeking at me.
Probably already, does feel that way. So I'm sure that's what the comment would be. Well, just leave me alone, will you? Yeah. It's like that. All right. So that's all going good. I think if we could get a couple of more frogs, it'd be awesome to keep the bug population down out there. But
yeah, it would be great. I love our outdoor space right now with all the plants, the little frogs. It's great.
Yeah, we got the pepper lights up there too. It's a nice little spot, definitely for sure. All right, let's get into it. We got to do some random facts. I have your recurrent dose of Did You Know random facts for episode 116. 116. About that.
Yeah.
Moving right along. Did you know the original voice of Snow White was Adriana Caselotti? And she wasn't credited for the role because Disney had a rule at the time where voice actors weren't credited in animated movies because they wanted to preserve the magic.
Oh, come on. That's stupid.
Excellent way of saying we want to preserve the money.
Yeah. That's awful.
Isn't that crazy?
Kids aren't going to know.
She was paid $970 for the movie, which is about $22,000 today.
Wow.
And kids aren't going to know, right? So check this out. She didn't have any notable roles afterwards, mostly because Disney was blocking her from getting any because they didn't want audiences to recognize her voice.
Oh, that's kind of
as
a bummer.
Snow White, right?
They ruined her career.
Oh, good old Disney.
Yeah.
Right on. Shout out to our Disney adults out there, by the way.
Yeah.
We got some Disney adult comments coming up from our question from last week. So that starting off real good with those guys. Did you know Suge Knight? You know Suge Knight, right?
No.
I think he was a rap mogul, one of those guys. You know, he's allegedly conspiratorially responsible for Biggie's death.
Oh, okay.
Notorious B.I.G. and all that stuff.
Okay.
Suge Knight played 2 games in the NFL for the L.A. Rams in 1987.
Interesting.
Was a defensive end and wound up with 0 stats, no tackles, sacks, or anything else. But he's got a couple murders, allegedly.
Yeah.
Did you know Saddam Hussein used Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You as his campaign re-election song in '02?
That's weird.
Yeah, and well, it must have been effective because he won with 100% of the vote.
I don't know if it had anything to do with the song or some underlying causes.
Yeah, that's right. Did you know France didn't stop executing people with the guillotine until September of 1977?
Yes, I did know that.
The original Star Wars, same year.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one of those fun facts that goes around all the time because when you think about it, it goes, huh, that's really messed up.
That pops up a lot. Yeah, and it's like, damn, France, all right, that's messy. Just seems messy. Yeah. And finally, did you know Russia and Pluto have almost the exact same surface area?
That's crazy.
6.6 million square miles for Russia, 6.4 million square miles for Pluto.
Pluto's a planet again, right?
I don't know.
Did we move them back into the solar system?
I don't think so.
No?
I
So
think
we exiled them, then we let them come back, and then exiled them again?
I kind of think that's the start. Well, look it's smaller than Russia.
Yeah, but it still deserves to be a planet. It's been a planet forever.
I'm with it because, you know, what does your very excellent mother serve if Pluto's not there?
Right.
Pizza, pies. It doesn't matter what you use the P for, but like.
It's got to be there.
It's got to be there. Just served us 9.
9.
Just served us a 9. Bang, bang. Speaking of Suge Knight, how about that? Boom. Excellent. That is your recurrent dose of Did You Know?
Great way
facts.
to end that.
Nailed it. Some random facts for episode 116. All right. If you are a longtime Luke and Naomi listener, a shout out to Uncle Jetpack, Rob out in New Mexico. So my big thing is I'm a Back to the Future fan. I love the flying cars there, the hover cars, the hoverboard. I love airplanes and helicopters and all of that. Love it. So, as a matter of fact, we were just talking to friends recently about like ATVs and all that stuff.
And a hover bike or something.
And I said, there's a hover bike coming out, and if I can find a picture, I'll add it to the YouTube right now so you can see. But there's a solid possibility that by the time I could afford an ATV for fun or anything like that, I could just get one of those.
Right.
Because those hover bikes are coming to mass production. They really are. But even before that, there is going to be a flying car.
Okay. I guess this is where we're going.
We are going to start seeing production flying cars soon. The first ones will go on sale early next year.
Really?
Yeah, how about that?
So how far are we talking about flying off the ground? Like, is this just hovering, or we got idiots that are going to be, like, crashing into the side of buildings and things?
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
So this isn't the thing that's keeping me from this is, well, several fold, which would be the price tag at $800,000.
So we have a bunch of rich people crashing into buildings.
Yeah, there's that. There's that.
Okay.
And then it's not the Back to the Future version of the hover car where you just pop straight up and take off and all of that stuff. It's more of a transformer, if you will.
Okay.
There's a company in Slovakia. They're called Klein Vision. It's called the Air Car. $800,000, up to $1 million if you add upgrades.
Oh, okay.
Brakes.
Like windows and things.
Get windows, yes, that's right. Hot water. Even if you can afford it, you might not want one. Again, the hover car, it is not. So it is a flying car in the sense of like it has foldable wings. So maybe if you really dig that, but you still got to have runway, and I can't imagine you can just cruise down a backcountry road and pop your wings and
Right.
And go.
That's my whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's got to be like aviation rules and laws that you can't just fly your car wherever you want because you might, you know, hit a plane or
Right.
something. What happens when you hit a bird with a car?
Oof.
You know?
So, I mean, of course, it has to have gone through several, whatever, safety things to be able to
Yeah, in
to get off the ground.
Slovakia,
literally.
they've got different rules. They don't care.
Also
Come
that,
on.
right? So it is just basically a sports car with retractable wings and propeller in the back. So it is what we've
That's
all,
weird.
I mean, we've all kind of wanted one of those. I've built Lego cars like that just nonstop. So that's kind of cool. So you can't lift off in traffic. You still need a runway, but you also need a pilot's license.
I was going to say, yeah, I was hoping that that's the case.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're going to have some serious issues.
Now, the speeder bike, on the other hand, which is exactly what it is, Star Wars friends. It is exactly a speeder bike. That looks like you won't. So here for that one, even more, which is
We'll
great.
see.
The flying car, the air car, transforms into an airplane in just about 2 minutes.
Okay.
So it's not like you can just kind of take off. Has a
But
range,
if you think about it, $800,000 is probably cheaper than a plane. So, yeah.
or a helicopter.
Yeah.
So it has a range of 621 miles and a top cruising speed of 155 miles an hour at a ceiling of about 18,000 feet. I think that's its ceiling, but that's its like cruising altitude.
I don't want to be in a car at
That's
18,000.
bumpy as shit. No way.
Like, just no.
No, that's They hit the skies in early 2026, at least in Europe. They're hoping to get them approved in the United States this fall for sometime next year.
That makes my stomach uncomfortable. It really does.
Here's a picture of it right now. If you're listening, watching on YouTube, you can see what it looks like.
I mean, it looks pretty cool.
It looks
but
cool,
no,
right? You wanna
I
get
don't
in
want.
that?
Nope, not that high up in the air.
Just hop down to Florida quickly or Myrtle Beach.
I mean,
don't
like
know
that would be
distance, I'm
cool to
sorry.
have that ability, but no, I'll just get in a regular plane.
I get it. I used to build Lego cars like this all the time. So it's cool that they're real, but
How about you? Do you want one?
No, I'm holding out for the Back to the Future. Just hover conversion.
Yeah.
Let's go and just straight up and take off.
Yeah.
All of that. That's what I want. Or failing that, the speeder bike,
You got some options.
which will be coming soon, hopefully. So, if another one, if you've been listening to Luke and Naomi for quite a while, you know Naomi is happy as hell to be frugal as possible.
Yes.
Not cheap, but frugal.
Yes.
When we buy things, we buy quality, and it's all that we don't. Whatever, frugal, and it has become a love language. Not the love language, but a love language where I can say something to Naomi like, I went shopping. And it's like, oh, hey, by the way, these were on sale, so it was $5 less than whatever, and she just lights up.
I do, because it's very exciting. And I'm glad that you're, paying attention to that stuff instead of going, well, we needed new sheets, so I bought these. And it's like, well, I didn't budget for sheets that are $150. I'd be pissed.
Well,
Yeah.
so there you go. Big deal for Naomi to save some money
Yes.
and do it out loud and stuff like that too. So, question is it okay to use a coupon on the first date?
Of course. There's nothing wrong with that.
If we were rewinding all the way back and I showed up with a coupon like buy one get one entree or something like that,
I'd be like, cool.
you would be totally hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, all right, that's points instead of red flags.
Oh, there's no red flags there? No.
So my boss thinks this is a red flag.
What?
Yeah, he's very well off and likes the finer things.
Sure, but you can like expensive things and still be good with your money.
He's on air hollering at people going, no way, that's terrible, and that gets you off on the wrong foot.
No,
and
it
that ends up-
doesn't.
So,
What gets you off on the wrong foot is if like you invited me out to a first date and then we're like, we're going to split this, or you have to pay for your half, or you have to pay. If you're like, I got this and here's a coupon, then cool. All right, we're set.
All
Why
right.
would it matter?
Well, excellent. 56% of people say it's totally acceptable. So just over half, according to a new survey.
I feel like it should be more than that. 56%.
Me too.
So you're telling me 40, oh gosh, I'm bad at math. 46? no, 44%, is not okay with this, you guys are dumb.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're saving money, you're saving money.
Yep.
If new relationship, you're young, you only have so much money, but you want to go out and pay for the whole thing, so you use the
Yeah.
coupon, you save a couple of bucks, and now you can afford another date
There you go.
or ice cream after without having to rob the blind like in the movie Half Baked. Everybody remembers that scene, I'm sure. 61% of people surveyed said that frugality is an attractive trait in a partner.
It is.
So 61% say that, but not 61% of people say that the coupon is okay.
Maybe they're just worried about it on the first date. Maybe they're like, okay, they can use a coupon on the second date. Which I guess I could see a little bit,
Meet each other and go,
I don't
listen,
know.
I'm frugal. I didn't want to whip out a coupon. And then the other person goes, oh, man, you should have brought it.
Yeah.
And then, all right, next date.
There you go.
That's the only way I could say not doing it on the first date. Not
And then you
using a
locked
coupon.
in another date, so it might actually work in your benefit.
Well,
to do it
that's an excellent point. But look how far we had to go to invent that scenario. Just
Yes.
bring the damn coupon. Coupon, discount code, punch card. I don't even care. Like, hold on. I'm on their loyalty program.
I get a free sub after like 3 more, so yes.
And I'm saying this is totally acceptable if your first date is like Moe's Southwest Grill or Chipotle or, a French restaurant. If you've got first of all, 50% off coupon at like a really nice restaurant like that, why the hell wouldn't you use it?
Right.
Because that doesn't happen a lot.
No.
All right. So even if it's not actual coupons, 37% of people say they'd be impressed if a date used like reward points or something like that. Use the
Yeah.
card points. Hell yeah. But then there is a difference between frugal and cheap, and cheap is not sexy.
No.
So I think the people who said no about this are confusing those two things.
Maybe. Or they're just dumb.
Or they're just dumb. All right. I mean, yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, who doesn't want to save a couple bucks?
For real. It's not like you're not going to tip or anything like
Right.
that. You're just saving a couple. You tip the original price of the meal and whatnot.
Sure.
How the hell do you not? Anyway, it's just crazy. But again, my boss is all about that's the worst thing completely possible ever.
He's crazy.
He is crazy. That would definitely get him returned after being kidnapped, which was our question last week. How about that? On a roll today.
Yeah, nice segue there.
So on our Facebook and social media and anywhere that you could comment, we were asking, you've been kidnapped. 25 minutes later, your kidnapper dumps you on the street because you wouldn't stop talking about what? Do you have an answer, Naomi Lynn?
I made the joke last week myself.
Yourself.
Yeah, talking about myself because that'd get really old and annoying fast.
Well, that's a good one, but would you talk about yourself?
Yeah, probably not because I just got kidnapped. They don't need to know more about me. I don't really think there is much that I just go on and on about.
The screaming might get you returned because if you're being kidnapped, I'm sure that's all you'd be doing.
Yeah,
Is just hollering,
yeah.
crying a little bit.
Drive them nuts. Be like, all right,
Drive 'em
this
nuts with that
girl is so annoying. Just let her out.
So I came up with another one other than Star Wars because that's a pretty easy one, right? And a lot of our answers were Star Wars also. So
Yeah.
Shout out to the Star Wars people. Amazon gadgets
Yes, because you talk way too much about that stuff.
and the dumbest things too.
I'm sorry. Like, I get it, and that's cool that you find stuff that you like and everything, but there are times where I'm like, husband, I love you, but I don't care. I get it.
I
that
love
this has a
my
scoop
gadgets.
on the back. I don't care. When are you going to use that? Nobody cares. No.
A surprise magnet on a flashlight.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad. Like around Christmas time too, when he gets some of those Amazon gadgets, and then he's trying to show me everything about it. Look
It's
at the
most
flashlight. Look at this.
wonderful
Look at that. And I'm
time
like, I don't
of the
care.
year. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Amazon gadgets would definitely get you returned.
Trying to win listener of the week over here.
Me or you?
I am.
Yeah,
I
I
am.
guess.
So let's see. Mark D says, have you met my son Kyle? Because their joke with Kyle always was if he got kidnapped, he would just get returned because he wouldn't stop talking at all.
Oh, okay.
Nothing specific.
Just talking.
Just talking.
I like that. That's
Yes.
funny.
He said that was a running joke when the kid was growing up. The kidnappers would bring him back and apologize.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Snowman says his wife says he just wouldn't stop talking, period, also.
I can see that.
He made
Sure.
friends. He makes friends with everyone though, so he ended up with that Stockholm syndrome,
Yeah.
something like that. Tracy says, "Do you even need to ask for me?" Of course, it's Disney.
Yeah, I saw that coming a mile away. Like when we suggested this as a topic, I was like, I know what her answer is already.
Yeah,
It's Disney.
for sure. We know we've got a couple of Disney adults out there, but yeah, but Tracy also with the chickens.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely Disney with Tracy for sure. We also have Randy Slack who said Football Manager,
Oh, okay.
and this is a video game.
Okay.
But it's so funny because I always buzz the chops because I'm like, damn, dude, you don't even actually play the games. You just are like a general manager, like front office high up, and like literally make transactions and stuff like that. You don't even play the games.
Yeah.
He gets so into this stuff. I have let him go for a good 10 minutes.
So like in a second life, he'd just be an accountant or
Yeah,
something.
probably. He says, did I ever tell you about my comeback with Villarreal in the quarterfinals of the Europa League? Yeah.
What?
So when we were talking about this after he left his comment, and I was like, I knew you were going to say that. He started telling me about it now, and he's like in some Thai league thing in Thailand, soccer, and it's the same game, but like that he started a new save. So now he's doing Thai soccer,
Okay.
trying to come up from the bottom. Still not playing the game, managing the whole thing.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
So that is an excellent comment. Those are what you got to choose from. Those are our top favorites that we've aggregated from all over.
Well, even though it was predictable, I definitely have to say Tracy's answer of Disney, because that's 100% true, and I believe that she would be returned.
Tracy D just started coming. Well, and then we went on the cruise too, and the last time we went to the park, and here's how you can save a couple of bucks. And oh yeah,
I mean, she's got some great information. Don't get me wrong.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, but she would definitely get returned.
I'm pretty sure she did us like she took us on like a verbal discount food tour of the park one time when we were hanging out.
I don't remember.
Like if you go through and you can go over here, and then this is where you get some inexpensive hot dogs and stuff like that. Pretty sure. But anyway, that's your choice. Is Tracy D.
Yes.
For listener of the week?
Episode. Sure. Yes.
We flip that around every time.
I know. So stop asking it. That way it'll seem like it's new every time or correct every time.
I love it. Wonderful. All right, that means we got to have a question for next time. And instead of just asking if it's cool to use a coupon on a first date, we wanted to get you a chance to get in on the 4-word action. Naomi's doing her 4 words for each movie at the top of the episodes now, which we really like. We miss doing the 4-word questions. So 4 words when someone uses a coupon on the first date.
I like it. That's great.
Yeah. So you drop those wherever you are.
You are so smart.
You are so smart. Why the hell not? That's my
Right?
That's my 4 words. Why the hell not?
I love it.
Damn it! Hold on. I'm trying to
Oh,
trying to come up with
gosh.
one on the fly.
It's going to be silent for like 5 minutes while he's over there counting.
How about maybe it'll be bad, like a bad date. You know what I mean? So maybe it'll be bad. So you
Okay.
use the coupon. I'm not gonna waste all that money if it's a bad date,
That's a good point.
right?
Yeah.
And then when you're married, it's just
I was
thank
being
you so much.
smart.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
No, that's 3 words. All right, I'm gonna stop trying to do this and then just
Yeah, you should.
not talk forever. How about
Yeah.
that? So let us know wherever you want to leave your comment. You can do it on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Luke and Naomi on air everywhere. You can head on over to the website. If you haven't checked out our website yet, lukeandnaomi.com, you can leave your comments there.
Yep.
Looking forward to getting to those and choosing our listener of the episode.
It's weak.
Oh, man, I just lost all confidence there.
Whatever you say, I'm just going to say the opposite of. That's my new goal.
That's the new thing.
Uh-huh.
Listener of the... Just whatever. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, congratulations to Tracy D. Let's do it now. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I can't find it.
I wonder why.
It is time now for Naomi's Under a Rock review of Robin Hood Men in Tights. Tight tights. That's right.
All right. So we start off with a nice musical number from some merry men rapping. But the movie is really, it is a really close spoof of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which I enjoy. And, you were right. We definitely needed to watch that first, so I knew and understood what was going on.
There was just some shots.
Yeah. Yep. So we start in a prison in Jerusalem, just like the other movie did. I enjoy it more already because it's stupid. Robin Hood has to be properly dressed to enter the dungeon, so the guard puts a fake long beard on him so he matches the other, guys that were in there for so long. There's signs on the wall for like eye gougers and toe clippers and things like that. It's really goofy, but very entertaining.
Very Mel Brooksian right off the bat.
Yes.
Which you did not know.
I didn't.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, she saw the Mel Brooks produced,
yes.
title, credit, and all that stuff. And was like, oh.
Yep. So Robin Hood breaks out of prison with the help of a sneeze, whose son, a Chew, lives in England and will need Robin Hood to look after him.
A sneeze, the great Isaac Hayes, by the way, chef from South Park.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Or Shaft if you're older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Robin Hood swims from Africa to England. I hope when he arrives, he lays in the sand like Kevin Costner did, rubbing it in his face like a weirdo. That'll just make this movie. And that's exactly what happens. He kisses the sand a bunch of times. It's all over his face. He spits it out like absolutely.
He spits out a big old mouthful of it. Just wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. It really did make the movie right then and there, seeing that. Then he rents a horse and finds a Chew, who is Dave Chappelle.
I love that it's just, there's no searching. He's
right there.
Immediately finds him.
Yeah.
Boom.
We meet the sheriff of Rottingham.
Love it.
And Marion, and find out why Blinken, great name, Robin Hood's blind servant, gave Robin Hood a key. It's for Marion's chastity belt.
There you go.
Everlast brand, too, by the way.
Everlast.
Very, very nice touch there. It's so goofy, but I'm glad we watched The Prince of Thieves first, so now I can get all the things they're making fun of. Otherwise, I would be kind of lost with what's going on. I'd probably still, laugh at the goofiness, but I'd be like, okay, what the hell?
It makes a lot more. It just makes it so much better to have done that. And then go back to back. Like if we did Prince of Thieves and then waited a month.
Yeah, it would have been kind of weird.
Yeah.
We meet Latrine, who's like the witch.
Tracy Ullman.
And, of course, her making a weird concoction of blood and eyes and eggs and whatever. It was really gross. But then she's like, hire a witch. I'm just the cook.
That's a great line.
Yep. Also, we find out she's got the hots for the sheriff, so she agrees to help the king's brother get rid of Robin Hood if he hooks her up with the sheriff. He says it's possible if he's drunk. Very drunk.
Very drunk?
Yeah.
That's right. Did they call him Prince John?
I think so.
But yeah, anyway, Richard Lewis in the great. That's a mole. Anyway, I don't know if you wrote that down or
I did not.
But
nope, I did not mention the mole because it's disgusting.
I have
so
a
no.
mole. That's what he said.
Yeah. We meet Little John, and of course they have their epic battle. But this version is a lot better because the sticks that they're using keep breaking. So it keeps getting smaller and smaller, which was pretty entertaining.
One of my favorite gags, and I forgot about it right until they basically start the first break. I'm like, oh my god, that's right. I totally forgot about how that ended and with the tiny ones. And
it's great.
It is.
We meet Will, who's apparently this expert with daggers, but can't figure out how to put them in the sheaths without cutting his belt and making his pants fall down.
This Will Scarlet 1,000 times better than the Christian Slater Will Scarlet. No?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Robin Hood goes to this party being held at the castle where he meets Marion and is kissing on her and all that. Obviously, the sheriff is getting jealous, so he slaps Robin Hood in the face with a glove and challenges him to a duel.
Right, as you do.
Then Robin Hood slaps him in the back, or slaps him back with an armored glove and says he accepts, which that was phenomenal.
Great gag. Great Mel Brooks gags in this that I forgot all about a lot of that.
At this point, everyone in the castle is fighting, or at least that's what it seems like. Robin Hood's crew shows up, a Chew, Blinken, Little John. They're ready to fight, and they all win and take off. Nice. Back at the forest, Robin Hood is training the merry men of the forest to fight because they're all terrible. They give them uniforms, which includes hats with feathers, and of course the tights.
And of course the tights.
You gotta have the tights.
Yeah.
Back at the castle, the sheriff has given the Brothers King bad news again. And the only reason that I'm mentioning this scene is because the king's brother is sitting in a tub and there's like 4 servants or guards or whatever around him. And they're blowing through these metal tubes, so it's like the bathtub has jets.
It reminds me.
It's so stupid.
It reminds me of like the coconuts in Monty Python.
Yes.
You know,
so
the horses.
This movie reminded me of that so much with some of the silly, like, just gags and things like that. I'm like, this is a Monty Python movie.
I think
it just feels like
the medieval setting, but yeah,
yes.
for sure. I'm sure Mel Brooks borrowed a lot from.
Yes.
Of course.
So we get to meet the minister, except for in this version, he's a rabbi, because why not?
Because Mel Brooks.
Yeah, and he joins their group so he can share his wisdom and counsel and all his wine, of course.
Sacramental wine.
Yes. The sheriff meets with Don Giovanni, who makes him an offer he can't refuse.
That's Dom DeLuise, and that scene, for some reason, just has lived in my head since I saw this movie as a kid. With the whole, well, you know, at my age, with the lizard and all. That.
Yes.
Oh my
yeah.
God, it's
the
so
entire thing is just goofy.
Yeah.
Anyways, they decide to do like an archery contest that they know Robin Hood will be a part of. And then his associate Dirty Luca can win because he's a great archer.
I will take this tissue cotton ball from you with my hand. That character's so dumb.
The whole thing was so dumb. Don's other associate, I forgot who that was, will kill Robin Hood.
It's Dirty something and Filthy Luca.
That's what it was, yeah. And Dirty and
who cares?
Luca. Doesn't
Dirty
matter.
Marco, whatever. Yeah.
Seems like a solid plan. It's so goofy though. And then the Don had the cotton balls in his mouth. It's just so stupid. Oh, I had dental work done. Pulls cotton balls out.
Oh man, that's just wonderful. I will take these cotton balls with you from my hand. It's just so. It's a great spoof on The Godfather in the middle of a spoof of Robin Hood.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Spoof as many movies as you want in the middle of a spoof of a movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm cool with that. Anyway, Marian and her lady friend ride through the forest to warn Robin Hood of the contest, which then he promises that she won't be there or whatever, instead of promising that he won't go to the contest.
Oh, yes, that's right. The play on words there. She's like, promise me you won't be there. He's like, fine, I promise you won't. I promise you won't be there.
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah.
Then Robin Hood obnoxiously sings to Marian, and it's really intense.
It is.
Yeah.
The overlaid voice, the length, and just it was just
a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Oh, but before we get to that song, though, we had our Men in Tights number where all the merry men tried to convince us that they're manly men, and if you make fun of them, they're going to fight you. And they just happen to wear tights, too. Best song in the movie. I loved it. I hope it won an Oscar for that.
It is very popular.
It's a great song.
It
was a phenomenal song. I would listen to that song
That
again.
gets stuck in my head for days.
It should, you
Oh,
know?
my God.
It's a great song. Anyway, of course, Robin Hood has showed up for the archery contest, and his merry men have showed up dressed as ladies. And Blinken, because he's blind, can't tell, and his boobs are sideways and stuff. And they're like, you got a Picasso thing going there. It's just great.
It is.
Robin Hood almost loses the archery contest, but after everyone checks the scripts, they realize he gets another shot, which that's a great gag there, too.
Fourth wall break.
Yeah. And then everybody's pulling out scripts everywhere. And, oh, yeah, he gets another shot. He gets another shot. Oh, okay. That sounds right. So then he ends up winning. The sheriff yells for his hanging, to which Marian is like, if you let him go, I'll do the most disgusting thing I can think of. I'll marry you.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, okay, that's cool with me. He doesn't care.
The attempted rape scene in this one, still not as bad.
Definitely not as bad.
And they tried to make it bad, on purpose. Still
not as bad. Nope. And then, she even says something like, you'll have my body, but you'll never have my heart and my mind and my soul. And he's just like, okay, I don't care. I got the good stuff. I'm good.
Terrible.
But I mean, come on. It was well done.
Yeah, for sure.
So before they get married, though, all the men in tights come out and attack the castle. Robin Hood is freed, but the sheriff takes Marian up to the tower to have his way with her. deflower her.
That's right.
Robin Hood follows them up the tower. Him and the sheriff, of course, have their sword fight. And then, like, Robin Hood tries to put, like, his sword back in the sheath and stabs the sheriff.
Yep.
So the sheriff's going to die. But he doesn't end up dying. I didn't include this part in my notes, but, like, you know, as he's dying, the witch that's not really the witch, Latrine, comes up and's got, like, a pill that will bring him back to life. But he can only have it if, you know, them two end up together. So he's like, yeah, okay.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't want to die. And then as she's dragging him out, he's like, I changed my mind. I don't want this.
Latrine. I love that.
Yeah. So Marion is now Robin Hood's. They get married. Yay! Oh, yeah, and they have to call a locksmith because Robin Hood had the key to Marion's chastity belt, but it won't open.
Uh-oh.
I'm sure the story has a happy ending.
Probably
we
just
don't
needed
need to
some
know.
WD-40 in there.
Yeah, it would be fine, I'm
bit.
sure. The end.
That's
it. Yeah.
All right.
So obviously I'm not going to cover everything that happens because if you know the story Robin Hood,
Right.
then you know.
All right, we just went over the Prince of Thieves. If you want the real actual plot lines.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if you want the jokes and all of that kind of stuff, you're going to have to watch the movie for yourself.
That too. There's just so many to try to hit them all would be
Insane.
insane.
You might as well just watch the movie.
I mean, plus, listening to us just repeat jokes and laugh at them is only going to go so far. So I think we hit the highlights, right?
That's right.
For sure. I don't think there's anything that I love. The fourth wall breaks are wonderful. When he goes to the castle the first time and he threatens, Richard Lewis, Prince John, I guess. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "How do you think you're going to do that?" And he's like, "Well, I am the only Robin Hood with an English accent."
That's right.
That
was pretty good.
Of course. So
yeah.
Love all of those. There was, and I love this. Do you like the call out to the movie title, Prince of Thieves, in Men in Tights better than the call out in actual Prince of Thieves?
Yes. Yes, I did.
When that happened, we both laughed. I forgot about it. And because we always, Naomi loves the call out to the titles. They didn't, I mean, of course they said Men in Tights about 1,000 times in this one. Not there for, but the actual call out to Prince of Thieves in this
was good.
I knew you would like. So, did you like it?
I did like it.
All right. Cringe level 1 through 10, 10 being cringiest.
Well, I feel like some of it, it's meant to be a little cringy.
It is. It's
a
tough to
goofy
do that with
movie.
a spoof movie, right?
So honestly, I would only give it like a 2.1 on the cringe level.
So compared to Prince of Thieves, or comparing Prince of Thieves to Men in Tights, where do you put the Prince of Thieves cringe level now?
It's still way higher. Just.
Well, I thought maybe you might even raise it up after.
I don't know. It was pretty high. Remember after we
It was. Didn't you get into the 8s for that one?
I don't know.
It was 7s or 8s for that one.
It kept going higher because we kept thinking about the romantic scene at the end of the movie.
And then the bad accent. That's just so wonderful. Let's see here. Did you like it? Did I ask you that yet?
Yes, you did.
Did you like it? Okay.
I do.
What did you know about this going in?
I knew the story of Robin Hood.
Well, that's helpful, right?
Yeah. And I knew that this was a spoof and it was going to be goofy. That's about it.
One of our most requested movies, also, since we started, by the way. So
that's awesome.
we had to get Naomi a good Robin Hood background before. So we did the animated one you can check out. And then, of course, last episode, we did the Prince of Thieves. So there you go. What were your thoughts going into this one?
Actually, I was kind of excited because I didn't really care too much about the last one we watched. And I'm like, okay, so if we're going to make fun of it, this should be fun. And it was.
And it paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What surprised you?
Oh, nothing. Nothing was really surprising about it.
You didn't have any good jokes or anything that jumped out at you? The fourth
I
wall
wouldn't say
breaks,
that was like surprising. I think just knowing that finding out that it was a Mel Brooks movie.
There you go.
That was the big surprise.
That was probably the big surprise for you. And did you know that Robin Hood in this was Wesley and Dread Pirate Roberts?
No.
In Princess Bride?
No.
We got to work on her with that one, gang. What was your favorite part?
There was quite a few of them. It's just the stupid jokes. The little, things that catch you off guard. There's quite a few, like, dad jokes in there. Something about, like, when they're about to execute a mime because he wasn't funny or whatever. And it says something about, like, what is it? Something about not wasting a mime.
A mime is a terrible thing to waste.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I remember just like inside I groaned. Like I'm pretty sure it came out a little bit where it's like, oh.
Mel Brooksian, subtle jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? Love those. Love
Yeah,
those.
there was quite a few of those moments. Again, when he like hits the sheriff back with the armored glove and basically like knocks him over going, oh, I accept. Oh, okay.
That's a great call. Least favorite part?
Well, not a whole big fan of the whole chastity belt stuff.
A little old for you?
Yeah, just kind of weird.
All right.
I don't need that.
Would you have liked it more or less if you saw it when you were younger? Now let's assume you knew the whole story of Robin Hood when you were younger and then saw this.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes any difference, honestly.
I feel like I'd probably feel about the same with it. If I go too young, then I wouldn't get the jokes.
Right.
But I don't know. Probably about the same.
All right. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Would you recommend it to someone else who hasn't seen it?
Yes.
Watch it again?
Probably. This is not one that I'm like, oh, you know what? I haven't seen in a while that I want to watch. Men in Tights.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be one of those movies.
What if you got to watch like the news or this?
Oh, I'm definitely watching this.
Stop and watch if it's on TV.
That's probably where I'd end up watching it
You're
again.
a little bit more likely for that one. Are you
Yeah.
happy you watched it?
I am. I am
And
happy.
this was made in 1993. Does it hold up today?
Sure.
It's tough with that with the spoof, right?
Yeah.
And
you
you
know?
spoof on like historical stuff, especially with like the rapping, and the
I enjoyed the rap.
references to like the pump, the Nike pump,
Yeah.
the shoe.
Yeah, it still worked.
A couple other old ones in there.
Yeah.
Still work though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent review of Robin Hood Men in Tights. I'm glad we finally got to that, got the whole Robin Hood thing out of the way. We've got a couple other things, like we did Peter Pan kind of in the same way where you watched a couple just so then you could watch Hook.
Right.
But
and
now-
understand it. Yeah.
Now I believe we've completed the Robin Hood trilogy, gauntlet, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, because if there's more out there, I don't think I need to see them. I think I've had enough
No.
Robin Hood for a little while.
I think there was like a series once, and then somebody did one in 2018 that made it more like actiony, and that's starring Taron Egerton, the dude who was in the Kingsman movies, the
Okay.
main character there. But there's no reason to watch those,
That doesn't even interest me.
Yeah, right, at all. So
Nah.
you've seen the Robin Hoods you need to see.
And
at
I
this
know the
point.
story now, so
That's right.
that's all
That's
I
right.
need.
He
Yeah,
robs from the rich and gives to the poor. That's right.
that's right.
That's right.
All right.
One more. All right.
All right, it's time for Thought of the Day.
Thought of the day. Thought of the day. It's your thought of the day. Thought of the day. That's right.
I got a good one for you.
All right, here we go.
Your brain can generate a thought so complex that even you don't understand it. Have you ever done that where you're like thinking of something and then you
What?
get like really deep into it and then you're like, wait, I don't understand this?
Most likely.
Yeah. So,
Probably thinking about women.
well, yeah, that'll mess your brain up a
How
little
would you
bit.
understand what the hell my wife's trying to say?
Good luck with that one.
There you go. So, yeah, I nailed it. Excellent.
All right, Luke, you're going to leave us with a laugh, you jerk.
Do my best. Looked at rentals for bouncy castles. They're twice the price of last year. That's inflation for you.
Stop. That's terrible.
Singing in the shower is all fun and games until you get shampoo in your mouth. Then it's a soap opera.
Oh, come on. I heard that one before. That's stupid.
I had a job in a calendar factory, but I got fired for taking a couple days off. You're holding it back, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Little bit.
No.
bit.
No.
Way to hold it back. Nice job. you made it through the 5-second threshold.
Yeah, and
there,
then it's fine. Then it means I didn't laugh.
except for that giant exhale of relief at the
That's
end.
okay.
For
That's
not
okay.
laughing. Excellent. All right. That is going to do it for episode 116. Don't forget to leave those comments 4 words for when someone uses a coupon on a first date.
That's going to be fun.
Wherever you're listening, if it's YouTube, drop them there, Spotify, Facebook, Luke and Naomi on air everywhere. Check out the website, lukeandnaomi.com. Until episode 117, have some fun. and be excellent to each other.
Love you, bye.